What's up, guys? FSC Trucking. Yeah, we still got the Kenworth with us on this run. I decided I was going to try to film a little different for the next few videos, only because, well, it's not the most fun truck to drive, meaning, well, nothing wrong with the truck, what I mean is video-wise. Video-wise, you guys come to see Orwell, and maybe me, but, well, that's a nice truck. It's a company truck. It's available. In other words, if you're looking for a job and you can do what I do, there you go. You can get hired on and drive that truck when I'm done with it. It's not really all that hard to do what I do either, let's be honest, but some guys, they don't. Anyway, so what's going on? Don't worry, everybody. I'm not going to sit here and give you all the ups and downs as to why it's cool to be leased on to or work for Widmeyer Express. You watch videos, you see what I do. So anyway, here's how it played out. So yesterday, in the previous video, we got unloaded at State College Airport over by Penn State and the State Penn, and got the striker unloaded at that airport. Then we went over to Carlisle, Pennsylvania, and loaded up a mini excavator. We came out here to Ohio. Now we're over here by Toledo area. We're like the 76 mile marker on a toll road. So we're getting ready to go up north. This is going to Lansing, Michigan. After we unload this, we should be unloading this today, it shouldn't be a problem. After we unload this, then we're going to bounce down to Indiana, pick up a truck, and then that's going to go up to truck country in Kaukauna, Wisconsin, which is real close to where my shop is and where I live. So then the game plan is, then we're going to drop off my trailer at my shop and then bring Widmeyer back their tractor because, well, it ain't mine. Now, if you're curious, this particular truck is a 2016 Kenworth T660. It's Cummins powered, 13-speed transmission, and it'll flat get down the line. That's a large unit right there. It'll get down the road. Sadly, we don't really have much of a load for it right now, but that's okay. The bigger the load, then not necessarily pay the best. So if you can take the little stuff, why not? Of course, we have my trailer, because when Orwell had broke down, we had already loaded a striker on the trailer. So the answer was, at that point, once Orwell had broke down, just to get another truck under the trailer. They didn't have a driver available, but they had trucks available, so I would just drive the truck. As far as the load goes, well, there it is. Alrighty. Let's get this show on the road, shall we? I know. I miss the sounds of Orwell too. Back up to speed for the time being. At risk of repeating myself, I know not everybody watches every single video. So long story short, what happened was we had loaded a Stryker fire truck to bring to State College. And I used Orwell to do it. We loaded it and then we brought it to my shop. And then the day after, sorry, 2 days later, I did a clutch adjustment. And in the process of trying to rotate the engine with the starter, I bumped the starter to try to rock the engine over so I can get to the adjustment on the clutch. And that's when the starter managed to push the ring gear right off the flywheel. I never in a million years thought that could happen or ever even seen it happen. So that left me with confusion. At first I thought the starter had died, so I found a new starter, put it in, and had the exact same problem. Then I stuck my face in the starter hole and I saw that the flywheel teeth were missing, moved forward, and a big piece of flywheel was shiny from where the ring gear used to be. So long story short, that's what happened to Orwell. It broke down literally in the shop, but it left everybody in the lurch as to what we were going to do for a truck to haul the Stryker. Obviously, the whole world is hiring. Everybody's short on labor, including myself. Need part-time mechanics. So with that, we didn't have any drivers to repower a load. We had trucks, but we didn't have drivers. So what was, it didn't leave us with very many options. So at first we used a Freightliner, which was waiting a driver for hire, and that Freightliner had some sensor issues with the DEF system, and it derated. As we were coming from my shop, not quite to the yard, it derated on me. So then we opted to change trucks yet again, and then we got in this truck, which is truck number 9, company truck obviously. So we got the load hauled out to Pennsylvania and delivered. That was Monday delivery, yesterday. Then we made it out to Carlisle, Pennsylvania, to the Keene yard like I do, and then we went out and grabbed this excavator to take it up to Lansing, Michigan. So here we are, getting ready to get off the old T5, exit 71 on the Ohio Turnpike. We're not stopping, we're just going to jump off and take 280 north. We're going to run 23 north into Michigan, so we got to hop up along the top side of Toledo to do it. And to be honest, yesterday after I loaded at Keene, I really didn't decide to put the cameras up. Well, this truck might be a nice truck, it's a company truck, but it doesn't really help with the views as far as the channel goes. You guys want to see old Cabovers, or maybe even myself. So I've got to put some content out while Orwell is down, but all at the same time, I don't want to hyper focus on too much with the company truck because, well, not everybody wants to see that. Yeah, there's diversity in my life, and you guys want to see how I overcome that, sure. So I figured I'm going through Toledo to be some twists and turns, and might be a little bit of a photogenic view or two. So this seemed like a good a spot as any to start filming. Now once we unload in Lansing, we're going to start heading down to Indiana. I think down by like Merrillville. I'm not 100% as to where. But there's a truck down there that's got to go to a Freightliner dealer, Truck Country, in Kaukauna. I may have mentioned that earlier. So after we do this load, we got another load to do. So that'll unload right nearby my shop, actually. Once we do that, we'll drop the trailer at my shop, we'll bobtail down, and then get my pickup truck and leave the company truck back with Widmeyer's. The other thing is Badger Truck Repair. They came to my aid yet again. And they are delivering at the yard for me a pallet of parts, which consists of a new clutch, flywheel, pilot bearing, Why would I present ticket? This truck has the Easy Pass on it. I got an Easy Pass.
I know I need it.
Oh. It's always something, ain't it?
There you go.
Thank you. That was weird. Been a while since I used one of those. Alrighty. Where were we? Yeah, Badger. So I didn't know, or maybe they didn't have them in stock at the time, but Badger, they rebuilt my rear ends, they rebuilt my transmission, they provided me my clutch. I didn't know that I can get flywheels from them too. The flywheel that we put in when we did the transmission job 2 years ago came from Caterpillar, was a reman. And I will say this about original new Caterpillar stuff: good quality products. But a lot of the aftermarket stuff that Caterpillar makes for servicing their older engines, most of that stuff's Chinesium. And I'm not really happy about it. And in 2 years, I have a green gear fall off a flywheel of a truck that doesn't get full-time use. Let's be honest, I do take a considerable amount of time off. But that truck doesn't run enough in 2 years. I mean, I've been driving a truck 27 years, and I've never, ever heard of this failure in my life. So, yeah, either I got the one rarity, or that Chinesium ain't worth 2 cents. That kind of nonsense really's got to stop. They gotta, the quality of parts. I'm sorry, I was talking to a mechanic friend of mine the other day, actually. And we had said, you know, not getting parts or having quality parts is creating a expense to the trucking industry. The higher expense of the trucking industry, the more harder it is for parts manufacturers to get parts, supplies, raw materials to make said parts, right? Which makes the trucking industry less competitive. In other words, trucking needs parts. Parts needs trucking. Without parts, we can't haul the parts that make the parts. Does this make sense? It's a cycle. How do we break that cycle? Well, my answer is simple, and it's as far as politics as I'll jump in this channel. But we need to make parts American again. That's really all it comes down to. We need to start manufacturing in this country. Caterpillar should be making replacement parts for Caterpillar engines in the United States, where they're based. They're a United States company making parts for American-made equipment in China, That needs to be done in this country. American parts hauled on American trucks for American trucks. That's how you keep an economy. I don't know why this is so difficult. Anyway, so Badger has a flywheel for me. So they're sending a flywheel, pilot bearing, a new clutch, and a couple other odd end things that are needed for the job. Because literally all I'm going to do is pull the transmission away from the engine, take the clutch off, pull the flywheel off, put the new flywheel on, put the new pilot bearing in the flywheel, and then put the new clutch on the flywheel, put the transmission in it, adjust it all, and be done. It really isn't that hard of a job. It's just labor intensive. So we'll see how that plays out. But so far Badger has never failed me, so I'd rather go with a flywheel I get from them than a reman from Caterpillar. Because Caterpillar quoted me one for better than double. Actually almost 3 times what Badger is charging me for a flywheel. A Badger told me it's a C15 style flywheel, but it's made to bolt on a 3406B because it's got, instead of 8 bolt holes, it's got 12. The timing pin holes, the dowel pin are all in the same spot where they should be. So it's made to bolt onto a 3406B, but they're saying a C15 style, which has the bigger hub hole, I should say, for the bigger hub clutch, like it's what I'm running now. That's what they told me on the phone. I'll take his word on it because they know what I bought 2 years ago. They said that what they sent me is everything I need. So when I get to the yard, drop this truck off, we'll put those parts in my dually, and then I'll head home. I don't own a transmission jack, but Dave was able to hook me up with a transmission jack. He says he'll be getting that dropped off at my shop this week. So by the time I get there, now Dave, I don't know if Dave's ever coming back to work, maybe in time, but right now he's got family things, sickness in the family he has to deal with, so his ability to work part-time is not. Maggie was busy when I was unloading and taking apart the Ford, so she couldn't come in, although she's more of a welder than anything else, but helpful hand would have been useful that weekend, but not available. And then Terry had, not to get into Terry's business, but Terry has some certain hobbies and interests in his life that he does with his children. And weekend before last was that weekend for him and his family. So I didn't even ask Terry to come in to help. I didn't want him to feel obligated. He needs to have that time with his children. So, and they're adult children, but still, I know what that's like. So it's a once a year thing for them, and I wasn't even gonna make him feel obligated to even try to come in. So I just handled it myself. Jen helped out a little bit from what she could do, and it all got done. And it all got done. So you know what? I think we did good. Really aggravates me though is I'm not gonna make. I just don't see how. Today's Tuesday, tomorrow's Wednesday. Yeah, it's unless I got on a motorcycle and shot down there, I'm not gonna make it to the semi-casual show, which would have been cool because a lot of my friends are going. James Pretty's going. Tim Gentry is going. He's bringing 2 trucks. I think James is bringing Marla. I forget which one's Marla. I think Marla's the K100 with the Detroit in it. So I guess I'll have to do next year. I am slated to go to Southern Michigan Railroad for trains, trucks, and more. That's in Clinton, Michigan, between Clinton and Tecumseh. right there on the northern side of their line. We did it last year, and plan on doing it this year as well. Right, everything works out okay, we should be able to make that without too much drama and trouble. So that's the ultimate plan. I'll start promoting it here soon, I guess. I guess that's the first promo I'm doing for that. I want to get Orwell running before I start running promos for that, but we are planning on being at trains, trucks, and more. I suppose worst case, even if I couldn't bring the truck, I try to get there myself. It's simply a scheduling thing. Right now I gotta run my ass off to try to get caught up financially, because we've been taking too many hits without a lot of revenue coming in. So I really have to watch that now. In this whole situation with the breakdown company truck, this really isn't conducive to putting a lot of money in my pocket. So that's okay though. You know what? You overcome the obstacles, you get on with life. And that's what we're doing. I'm trying to convince myself it's not a problem if you can solve it. Alrighty, boys and girls, we made it to AIS in Lansing. I already broke the trailer down. I just got to untie the excavator and then wait for them to pull it off. Or maybe I will, one or the other. We'll see. Depending on how quick they come out to me. Alrighty, it has been, for nothing else to say, a very interesting week. We're down here in Evansville, Indiana. We're going down to a Penske to pick up a truck that's going to truck country up in Kaukauna. When we get done with this truck, then we gotta go back, basically the same way we came, to go get a piece of freight that's gonna go from Michigan to Alsip, Illinois. Now that'll go on the back of the trailer, but it's not ready until tomorrow, which is why we didn't grab it as we came down. Although it would have been a very uncomfortable ride with that kind of weight on the tail of the trailer and nothing up front. So that's what's going on. So it gives me time to do more editing, I guess, once I get loaded and back up that direction. For today, we're picking up this Freightliner. I'm assuming it's a Freightliner. It's going to truck country, and it's a Penske truck. So pick up this truck. We'll load it heavy to the nose, keep it up against the top deck basically, and then this other piece will go on the tail, either up on the back deck, or I'm hoping in the well at the very bottom of it. But it's got to go on the. It can't go on the top because I know it's 10 feet high. It's some kind of a press. Good news is I don't have to tarp it or nothing. It's already wrapped, and it's only going from Michigan out to Alsip, so I can load it Thursday, unload it Thursday, and then looks like I'll be dropping the truck off at truck country on Friday. Not bad considering I started dropping Monday with that striker truck. It's been an interesting week. If I wanted to get home, hurry up and put Orwell back together, it just seems like everything's slowing me down. But you know, you got freight to haul, just haul it and be happy. I guess I'll work on Orwell over the weekend. It's possible, very possible I'll have Orwell back running by Monday. I mean, if I have Saturday and Sunday, I should be able to get that done. All the parts have arrived at Whitmire's, so when I get there, I'll be able to load it into dually and take it home, so I don't have to worry about shuttling parts or not getting them until I get home. So there's a benefit to that too. There we go, it's right over there on the right.
something like that at?
boys and girls, that ought to do it. If all goes well, I'll bobtail down in the yard, drop that off. I'll bring up the dually along with my parts. And over the weekend, early in the week, we'll get Orwell put back together. That's the basic plan anyways. So I gotta think of a better way to do this. I'd really rather do this with a spare truck of my own rather than do it with a Widmeyer truck. I have some ideas, but to be honest, I don't really want to go anything newer than 2000 again. And to be honest, with the amount of time off I've taken, family stuff and stuff at the shop, money's tight, so I have to watch. I really do. This is not a convenient time to have a major breakdown. But just because I can't solve that problem right now doesn't mean I'm not going to solve it in the future. That's all I'm going to say with that. So I got stuff to think about. The Ford's a full-on frame-up rebuild. Same with the other Peterbilt, so I don't want to have to get involved in yet another truck, which is possible, but then again, maybe I should put a driver in another truck if I go that route. I don't know, I've been thinking, I'm doing a lot of thinking. I really don't want to put another driver in Orwell. One thing I do need for sure is I do need a new mechanic around here. I need somebody that's part-time, but a lot more part-time, a little more full-time than part-time, meaning I need a lot more than just a part-time, 1, 2, 3 hours, every other week. I certainly need more than that. And I understand, the guys I have, they're great guys. They're knowledgeable, they know what they're doing. Dave effectively doesn't work here anymore, but he's still a friend. He still helps out. Matter of fact, he's involved with the transmission job in some way, shape, or form. I'll just leave it at that. It's the transmission job. This one, the one I'm getting ready to get killed, pull the transmission out. So I certainly need help. So if you guys live in the area or can actually put some time in, or reach out, FSC Shop. Reach out to me, fstechshop@gmail.com. I'm definitely needing some kind of help around here. If you don't have experience, I'll teach you. You got to have that grind and the drive to work and work hard and be a worker. But I can teach you skills. If you have mechanical background, I certainly can teach you how to do it. But you got to have that drive, that grind, the desire to actually get the job done. That I need more than anything else. The rest I can teach you. All right, with that, it's the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all that happy horse crap. We got to start getting my stuff out of there. We're back in Orwell, and then that'll be that. Drop that truck off, and that'll be it for now. I hope. Famous last words. All right, enough of the yapping. I'm out of here.